Long. We're at the Sido Arena here in Lithuania, 7th hosting 6th in Group C. Both teams just 1 and 3 so far, so both will see this as a big opportunity here this evening. The home side certainly haven't been as competitive perhaps as that record might suggest. A couple of really narrow defeats over the first 4 games for them. Dijon have had plenty of hard-fought battles as well. They arrive here on a 3-game losing streak, but each of those losses coming by 10 points or fewer. 32 teams split across 4 groups of 8. Our focus here is on Group C, where later this evening Antwerp welcome Brose Bamberg to Belgium, and then tomorrow Ike entertain Venlo and Tapoel Jerusalem host Ches Nimbor. This is how the Group C standings look as well. We'll see that in just a moment. The top 4 of each group from the regular season making the playoffs. The top 3 all tied at 3 and 1, including last season's champions Ike. Brose are currently edging Antwerp for 4th, both tied at 2 and 2, and face each other later tonight. And the bottom 3 all 3 defeats from 4 so far, including the 2 on display here in Panevėžys. Certainly not the end of the world for either team, but not the way they would have hoped to have started the campaign. We are only 4 games into a 14-game regular season though, and they're both only 1 win behind the top 4. A look at the Dijon roster, and you look to Gavin Ware, averaging a team-high 14.3 points, 4.5 rebounds as well. Alexandra Chasson, the team's second best, 12.5 points, along with a team-high 5.3 rebounds, both big at centre. And the 2 small players on the roster as well. David Holston, just at 5'8", 1.73 metres, averaging 11.3 points, 4.5 assists. And Axel Julian, another point guard, averaging 6.8 assists, a team high. As for Lietkabelis, Solus Kulvietis is their superstar, a team high 15 points, joint team high 5 rebounds, 3.8 assists and 1.5 steals per game. And Paulius Valinskas, a 22-year-old, has been impressive so far. The team's second top scorer, averaging 13.3 points, 3 assists and 1 steal. Jamal Wilson, 10.5 points, a team high 5 assists and 3.8 rebounds. Is another key player, the American-born Finland international. Like I say, not the end of the world for these 2, the start they've made, but tonight's matchup could prove pivotal. With Antwerp and Brose facing each other, one of those 2 will move on to 3 wins. The loser then of this one would fall 2 wins off the pace with 9 games to go. We're going to have the official player introduction, starting with Dijon, the visiting team from France, 1 and 3 so far, despite 3 of their first games coming at home. They started superbly with an 11-point win at home to Ches Nimbor. They've lost 3 in a row since then. A 9-point road loss to Brose before a heartbreaker on home court against Venlo, losing 85-87. And they lost at home last week as well by 10 points against Ike, 80-90. Laurent Lenyan is the head coach for the visiting team. And now the introduction of the home side, Lietkabelis Panevėžys, 1 and 3 so far as well. Although a couple of their defeats have been really tight. They lost by just 4 points here to Antwerp on game day 1, before losing by 14 at Tapoel Jerusalem on game day 2. Their only win arrived the following week, beating Nimborg by 11 here, 97-86. But they suffered defeat again last week, losing by just 5 on the road at Brose Bamberg, 82-77. They did lead by 5 heading into the 4th quarter in Germany against Brose last week, but they lost the final period 25-15 to lose the game by 5. They took 13 extra field goal attempts in their hosts, but shot just 40% from the floor. Bamberg shot 55%, as well as hitting 21 out of 23 free throws against coach Nenad Čanak's team. And Bamberg winning the game despite 15 turnovers. Nenad Čanak taking charge here, having recently taken over after a spell in charge of Partizan Belgrade. A new job, and they will hope that his presence on the bench can spark their season into life. A look at your officiating team here tonight from Greece, Turkey and Germany. And we're just a few moments away from getting this one underway. Last week against AEK, Dijon led by 8 points at half-time, got blitzed though in the third quarter, 15-32. They shot an impressive 55% from the field, but took 10 fewer shots than their Greek opponents as a result of getting battered on the boards. AEK won the overall rebounding count 42-19 against coach Laurent Lenyan's side. And they won the offensive rebounding count 20-5, so his team will be desperate to perform better on the boards here tonight. Lietkabelis are averaging 6.2 more points a game so far this season, as we see the starting five that they go with here tonight. Dijon, though, are conceding 6.8 fewer and actually stand as the 6th most accurate side in the competition, shooting 48.1% from the field. They're the 4th most accurate team on the inside, 57.3% from two-point range. So Lietkabelis, under coach Nenad Čanak, will have their work cut out to stop their opponents close to the basket. His new team shooting themselves only a tournament 26th best, 46% from two-point range. They do, however, grab 5 more rebounds on average. Dijon, who had all of those problems on the board last week, and despite their joy shooting the ball inside, average a competition 3rd worst, 30.8 boards per game. And the French side's perimeter defense will need to be switched on to the significant outside threat of their Lithuanian hosts tonight. Lietkabelis, the 4th best three-point shooting team in the Basketball Champions League, 40.7% from long range. And as you can tell from those percentages, Dijon inside, Lietkabelis from downtown. Both offenses circulate the ball well. Lietkabelis ranking joint 3rd in assists in the competition. Dijon ranking 8th out of the 32 teams in this season's Basketball Champions League. The final chance for the two coaches to have a final word with both sets of players, as we see a number of the potential protagonists here this evening. Two teams who will feel that their records so far this season perhaps should be better. And now is the opportunity here tonight to put themselves back where perhaps they feel they should be, and challenging for the top 4 in Group C. The shot there of Mike Morrison. He was only 1 of 5 from the field for 2 points in last week's defeat. One player who will want to certainly bring an improved performance here tonight. Basketball fans in Lithuania are amongst the most passionate on the planet. And these Lietkabelis fans will look to get behind their team here in Panevėžys tonight. It is a former 2-time Lithuanian champion against a 2-time French Cup winner. The Lietkabelis team becoming a staple in continental competition against the Dijon side back in Europe for the first time in 4 years. Both just 1 win from 4 so far and both desperate to get that second win on the board this season. We're all set for game day 5 of the Basketball Champions League regular season campaign. Gavin Ware gets the start at centre for Dijon. Will contest this opening tip against Morrison, and it's Lietkabelis who get on the ball first. Jamar Wilson. Won by Kulvietis. Wilson on the move, trying to receive it down towards the corner. It comes back the other way though. Just about reached Valinskas. A really promising campaign from him so far. Across to the far side it goes. Step to the side, long range 2 will drop right at the end of the shot clock. Great composure with the opening possession for Lietkabelis as Yazaitis knocks that one down, the 36-year-old veteran. First offense for Dijon as it goes in towards Ware, knocked away. Lietkabelis determined not to let Dijon's big man have the ball. Gavin Ware averaging a team-high 14.3 points. The ball knocked away from him with only 5 seconds on the shot clock here. David Holston, the smallest player on either roster, to inbound the ball and gets it straight in. A little hesitation and a comfortable score. That was poor defense. Obi Emegano, the Nigerian, scoring here off the simple inbound pass. Kulvietis handing it off on the perimeter, gets it back. Thought about the 3, instead wants to go inside, trying to find a pass in tight quarters. And a foul as Morrison gets stopped on his attempted layup. The first free throw attempts of the game will be for the American center, averaging 8 points. A joint team high 5 rebounds and 1 block per game so far in the Basketball Champions League, shooting 46% from the field. Able to get that second one from the line. Lietkabelis ahead. Pearson moving it on. Putting up the long range 2 was Holston, missing his first attempt of the game. Yazaitis on to Wilson. Valinskas. Shot clock winding down to the final 5 seconds of game. Valinskas, the crossover, threatened the 3, has to force it up now on the turn, wide of the mark. Gavin Ware the rebound. Dijon can look to get themselves ahead. It's been a low-scoring first 2 minutes. And the long range 2 put up quickly will fall. Gavin Ware up and running. And got the shooter's roll. Kulvietis handing off on the perimeter. Valinskas back inside, moved on. There was a free player cutting in from the far side in the form of Yazaitis. Instead he went for the shot though. And touched home by Ware, who scores for the second time in quick succession. 4 points already for Gavin Ware. Oh, high off the window. Beautifully done by Jamar Wilson, who wanted the foul as well. He has to settle for the 2 points here as he hung that one high off the glass. Holston. Pearson handing off on the perimeter. Then again here it's come to Emegano. 3-point shot from way outside off the mark by Pearson. Morrison onto the far side. On the move here to receive it is Jamal Wilson. Wilson prodding and probing and trying to find a way to penetrate. Shot clock winding down on Lietkabelis again. Floated up from the foul line. Grabbing his own rebound was Valinskas. And a fresh 14 on the shot clock now. Jamal Wilson will take his time, averaging 5 assists per game. Moves it on to Kulvietis, who puts it up. Again, it wasn't the easiest shot. And the Dijon defense is doing a decent job so far. Holston. Holston on the move, using Ware as the screen, but then found the shins of the big man as he attempted the bounce pass. Ware wrestling it back and forcing it up and getting the roll. Gavin Ware with 6 points already. Somehow got that one to fall. Yasitis back to Wilson. Wilson double teamed on the perimeter briefly, then bounce pass inside. Little hesitation, knocked away in the paint though from Morrison. And here come Dijon, looking to build off that defense again. In the corner, driving inside is Emigano and getting some contact. The foul on Yasitis. But Dijon building a defensive platform and using that to thrust off as they move forward on offense. Little joy for Lietkabelis going forward so far. Down by 3, a chance for Dijon to extend the lead here with Holston. Ware's going to put up another, misses for the first time in the game. It comes back to Holston though, he's too long as well. And Wilson grabs the rebound. Midway point of the first quarter. Valinskas across to the far side, wriggling away here and trying to find his man in the corner, Yasitis. Knocked away by Gavin Ware, doing a job on defense as well. Stopping the attempted drive down the baseline of Solus Kulvietis. Still Lietkabelis possession. Wilson. Morrison rolling inside, instead it goes around the perimeter for the first 3 for Lietkabelis from Kulvietis. It looks like it's just been called a 2, so they have to wait for their first 3-pointer. Lietkabelis back within 1. Kulvietis must have had a toe on the line. Holston passing out of pressure, picked off here though. A chance in transition, the cavalry arriving and going all the way through. Valinskas fouled on his route to the rim. Holston fouled, he did well to knock that away, but he got called for the contact. You can see how disappointed he is as he goes to the bench. Only his first foul, but David Holston will get a rest. Had 20 points, 5 assists and 2 steals in last week's defeat to Ike. He was 7 of 10 from the field. One of Dijon's key players without doubt this season. On this occasion though, he sent Paulus Valinskas to the line. He had 12 points and 2 steals in defeat last week for Lietkabelis. Only 4 of 9 from the field. He's 2 of 2 from the line on that trip though. And Lietkabelis lead 9-8. Ware fizzing a pass in. It leads to the open layup for Ryan Pearson. Gavin Ware adds an assist to his impressive first quarter stat line. Morrison. Kulvietis. Knocked away, but a foul drawn by Yasitis. Nobody for Lietkabelis has been able to score more than 2 points so far. Dijon have done a good job on defense over the first 6 minutes, but only the 1 extra point to show for it so far. Ware has got 6 of their 10. Maverick, the Croatian, in for the first time, hanging one up towards the foul line, floated up, but off the mark by the big man Kupchas. And they're only 6 of 12 from the field, 6 of 13 from the field. Pearson. He'll get it back here. Pearson turns around, shoots over the top of the defense, misses. Big rebound underneath from Ware, but batted away by Kupchas. Finally, somebody there to stop Gavin Ware. Lalou's inbound. Julien. The fake and the travel against OBM Egano. Dijon turn it over and let Lietkabelis have a chance to get themselves ahead here. Third turnover for Dijon. Lietkabelis have had 2. Fran Pilipic coming in, another Croatian for Lietkabelis. Only 2 of 8 from the field in last week's defeat at Broza. Again, another player who will want to improve on their performance here on game day 5. Kupchas handing off on the perimeter, then moving inside the big man. Comes back out, fired in towards Kupchas, and a foul as the entry pass went into him. In fact, it's an offensive foul. And there was a push-off against Jasaitis. That's 3 fouls each in the quarter. Jasaitis is going to go to the bench. As he tried to come out to the perimeter, he pushed off on one of the Dijon defensive players. Lalou. Bounce pass into Pearson. Pearson maybe wanting to go one-on-one here on the far side with Tarolis. Baby hook over the top. Tarolis does a good job of making life difficult for Pearson and then grabbing the rebound. Maverick. Here's Tarolis on the offensive end, now skipping through the defense and floating it home. An instant impact from Donatos Tarolis. One of just a couple of players to stay with the team from last season. He's got Lietkabelis back ahead. There's another foul. That one is the 3rd on Lietkabelis. Both teams now on 3. It's on Sinovic. Julien. Pearson. Egano. Shot clock to 6. Pearson kicks it back out. They move it around the perimeter. Somebody's got to take the shot right at the end of the shot clock from the far side. It was a really good look, but missed by Robert Arnold. Points have been at a premium here in the first quarter. Maverick to Rollis. Bounce pass in towards the big man inside, and he's fouled Kupchas as he tried to manufacture the room against Alexandre Chasson. Dogus Kupchas, the number 49 for Lietkabelis, 2 meters 15, 7'1". He's averaged an impressive 8 points and 4 rebounds in just 14.5 minutes per game so far, although he's only shot 7 of 17 from the field. He was improved in that regard last week when he shot 3 of 5 and 7 of 8 from the line as well, en route to 13 points and 6 boards. Maverick to the far side gets it back. Shot clock down to 5, fired in again, but too hot to handle for Kupchas. Picked off. Pearson to the far side. Holston for 3, no. And the scoring, if anything, is drying up even more. Neither side has hit a 3-pointer so far. Mavra to float one, got the bounce. Lietkabelis lead by 3, which in the scope of this game so far is a large lead. It has been that tight and that low scoring. Mavra's first score. And a turnover from Dijon as Robert Arnold continues to have a difficult passage of play. He missed the open three-pointer and then he throws that one into the crowd. Final minute of the first. Lietkabelis by 3 and with possession. A chance to make this a very positive first quarter for them if they can stretch the lead in these closing seconds. Sinovic, Mavra fires it on to Rollis. Shot clock to 5 again. To Rollis falling down and turning over the ball. Arnold, another three-point shot, still won't go, this time for Julien. Came in shooting 35% from downtown. Misses that one. And the away side are now 0 of 3 from three-point range. Lietkabelis, the big three-point shooting team, have only taken 1 attempt and missed it. Mavra firing in, Kupchas is inside, but he misses, and he wanted the foul, but doesn't get it. Shot clock turned off now. Here goes Holston. Bounce pass into the lane. Hit the shins of its intended target. Alexandre Chasson unable to grab the handle on the ball, and that will do it for a remarkably low-scoring first quarter here on game day 5 in the Basketball Champions League. Lietkabelis leading Dijon 13-10. Lietkabelis 5 of 9 inside with the edge in terms of field goal percentages. Dijon just 5 of 16 from the field. Neither team able to hit a three-pointer so far. And perhaps not what we expected from a Lietkabelis side that came in as the 4th most accurate three-point shooting team in the competition. That one was a step inside 2 from Jasaitis. But points have been very hard to come by. Still nobody for Lietkabelis, despite their three-point lead with more than 2 points in the game. Gavin Ware leads the way with 6 points in 7 minutes on court so far. 4 rebounds, an assist and a steal as well. Most impressive, shooting 3 of 5 from the field. And that perhaps the most impressive finish of the lot, bundling the ball home despite some intense defense. But only 3 players for Dijon have scored, as well as the 6 points of Ware, 2 for Emigano and 2 for Pearson, and that is it. Lietkabelis leading 13-10. Nice move skipping through the paint from Donatas to Rollis, coming in late to that first quarter. One of 5 players, 6 players in fact, to have 2 points for Lietkabelis. Mavra another, got his basket coming in late to that quarter as well. There's so many big weapons that haven't fired yet for both teams. Start of the second quarter then. Lietkabelis Panavichis 13, Dijon 10. And the French side start with the ball with Ryan Pearson. Holston, who's not scored yet. Pearson onto the corner. Arnold. Chasson. He wants to take on Kupchas one-on-one. Beautiful pirouette move. Using a pivot foot in the paint to create some room. 1 point ball game again. Dijon, who only converted on 5 field goal attempts in the whole of the first quarter, getting one very early in the second. Chasson back out, driving in is Pearson, swatted away. 2 of them there, hanging in the air to say, not in my house. Absolutely no way through for Ryan Pearson. Here he goes again, looking to make amends. And this time getting fouled on his way up to the hoop by Rollis, so he'll go to the line for 2. These will be the first foul shots of the game for Dijon. Knocked down by Ryan Pearson, who's averaging 5.5 points, 2 assists so far in 15.5 minutes. Across just a couple of games in the Basketball Champions League, he'd only shot 4 of 15 from the field coming into tonight's game, a disappointing 1 of 6 in last week's defeat. He gets a couple from the line though, and he gets his team ahead again. Mavra back out to the perimeter. This time they will take on a 3, nothing but nylon for Tyrolis. Lietkabelis finally, over 11 minutes in, sinking their first three-pointer. And the first three-pointer for either team. Holston, he got fouled as he looked to attack. David Holston not really able to have the impact that he's hoping for so far. He's 0 of 3 from the field. Julien to inbound. Arnold. Here is Holston. Bounce pass. Chasson looking to take on Kupchas in the lane. Touched away by Tyrolis. Kupchas battling for it. And good balance and poise from Valinskas to keep it alive for Lietkabelis. Mavra. Tyrolis onto Valinskas. Feeding into Kupchas, and a foul as the entry pass went in towards him on Chasson. Pilipic. Mavra. Kupchas passing out to the near triple team. It was a low catch for Tyrolis though. The opportunity to shoot went begging. Shot clock winding down as they move it across to the far side. Contested 3 this time, wouldn't go, and the rebound grabbed by Julien. Now Holston going through the gears and trying the bounce pass, which is knocked away before it could reach Abdoulaye Lou. Jamal Wilson comes back into the game in place of Dominic Mavra. Julien to inbound. Close to 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Dijon looking to tie or maybe even take the lead here with Holston. Chasson onto this near side. Julien for 3. Got it. Dijon back ahead off their first three-pointer. He's been shooting the ball well this season, Axel Julien. 50% inside, 35% from downtown. Valinskas. Final 5 seconds of the shot clock as he bursts into the paint, kicks it back for the open three-point shot. It would have been a superb assist, but they get the offensive rebound anyway. Jamal Wilson. Shot clock winding down again to the final 5. Pilipic will take on a 3 and got it. Lietkabelis with 2 in quick succession from the outside. Both teams striking from deep already here in the second, having failed to do so in the first. The scoring pace starting to pick up here. Holston moving it on to Chasson. Chasson hands it off to Arnold. Arnold back over to Chasson. He'll take on a 3, stepping back towards the sideline. Can't hit that one. Rebounding numbers overall even, but Dijon with 5 on the offensive glass, and the big swat away by Lou. Making sure that Lietkabelis couldn't attack on the inside. To roll this in to Wilson. Valinskas. Back Backing in and looking to go to work here is Morrison. Can he get it to go off the turn? Oh, he does. The kind roll and bounce for Morrison. Lietkabelis by 4 minutes into the second quarter. Julian, tight control dribble behind the back, trying to shake off the attentions of Lietkabelis. Lalou. Where almost had his pocket picked. He's able to save it on the near side. Touched onto the corner. They have to throw it up for 3 off the side of the window. It would have been a shot clock violation. Lietkabelis come away with the ball though. And nobody goes to the shooter, although it's a miss from the outside. Moved on swiftly and then dancing through the paint for the big stuff. Abdullahi looming large. The big one-handed throwdown from the 27-year-old Frenchman. Dijon back within 2. Ball movement around the perimeter. Lietkabelis will go on the dribble drive, left hand. Only had one thought in mind as he went straight to the hole for the layup. Four points the gap just across the midway pointer of the midway point of the second quarter. I beg your pardon. Where fouled on that shot attempt. Hasn't scored since 6 points early on. Lietkabelis picking up their second foul of the second quarter. A couple of changes here. And in fact, we're going to have a timeout just across the midway point of quarter 2. Lietkabelis leading 23-19 over Dijon. You see the second chance points there. Dijon have had 5 offensive rebounds to Lietkabelis' 3. As we see some big defensive plays here, that rejection from the 7-footer Kupchas. With Tyrolis, in fact, jumping ahead of him. Kupchas there just for backup. Those offensive rebounds and 2 fewer turnovers for Dijon have led to 4 extra shots from the field, but they've hit 1 fewer than their host so far tonight. Dijon shooting just 8 of 23 from the field for 35%. The home team 9 of 19 for 47%. Gavin Ware reduces the arrears to 3. Wilson to Morrison. Kulvietis. Lietkabelis directing traffic. Out comes Jamal Wilson. Wilson floating one up, wouldn't go. Really difficult shot. Morrison trying to catch it. Out of bounds, it will still be Lietkabelis possession. Lietkabelis to inbound the ball. Wilson, he got a little fortunate perhaps to have this second chance opportunity. Lietkabelis into the paint, back out. Wilson didn't want to take on the 3. Shot clock winding down, he might have to now as he tries to create a bit of room, puts it up with a hand in his face, misses. And no third chance opportunity as Loom secures the rebound. Here is Abdoulaye Loom, back out to Lalou and further on to Julian. The 3-pointer from the big man off the mark, and Lietkabelis grabs the rebound. It's been almost equally as low scoring, despite both teams knocking down outside shots, at least in this second quarter. 13-10 was the score at the end of the first. It's another three for Lietkabelis. It's another miss, though. A battle to try and secure it, balancing on the sideline, keeping it in play, Lietkabelis. Velinskas trapped, though, in the corner at centre court, able to find a way out. Now where's the space? It's the long two-point shot that drops. Simas Jasaitis, the 36-year-old Euro Cup winner with Lietuvos Rytas back in 2005 and with Lokomotiv Kuban in 2013. A true continental competition veteran, gives Lietkabelis the largest lead so far. Final 5 seconds of the shot clock here, floated off the window, it's good for Obi Emegano. One possession ball game again, 2.5 minutes of the first half to play. You see those field goal percentages, Lietkabelis more impressive, but Dijon taking on a couple of extra shots. Inside towards Mike Morrison, back out, corner three, got it! Solus Corvietis. Lietkabelis starting to find their range. Lalou. The handoff to Julian, who averages 6.8 assists per game. The foul over on the far side. Julian so far just 1 assist in this first half. He's one of, if not the most efficient point guards in the tournament so far. Axel Julian, the 26-year-old Frenchman, only 1.5 turnovers per game and those 6.8 assists so far. He had 7 assists in last week's defeat to White, although he shot just 2 of 7 from the field for 5 points. Lalou to inbound to Ware. Emegano. Here's Holston, who still hasn't scored. Shot clock winding down again, as it seems to do on every offense in this game, and the static three missed by Pearson. 6 points is the largest lead so far, and Lietkabelis a chance to extend it here. Inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. Jasaitis moving it back to Wilson. Jasaitis again on the outside. Here's Pilipic. Nice bounce pass in the paint. Well, this one dropped, no, it won't for Morrison. And Dijon a chance to make it a little bit closer before the end of the quarter. And they get a foul, the 4th on Lietkabelis in the quarter, and this one on Pilipic. His first personal. And a non-shooting foul, so Dijon will inbound the ball. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in the first half here. Holston stops and pops for the long 2. It's another miss. Holston is 0 of 4 from the field. Wilson. Only really Gavin Ware has shot the ball well for Dijon so far in this first half. Kupchas moving it back. Here's Jasaitis. Kupchas trying to get one-on-one inside. Gets fouled by Ware and will go to the line for 2. Mindaugas Kupchas, the 27-year-old Lithuanian centre who I mentioned, hit 7 of 8 from the foul line, en route to 13 points last week. Ware picks up his second foul. And Kupchas on the mark from the stripe again. That's his first point. But showing the same kind of accuracy he showed last week, although not on the second one. 7 points the gap, final minute of the quarter. Holston. Can he finally get going in these final seconds of the first half? Across to the far side for the 3. It's an air ball from Emegano and then knocked out of bounds by Pearson. The Dijon offense has completely dried up now, suffering a real drought. It hasn't really been flowing at any point in this first half. Just 1 of 8 from downtown. They're trying to force a steal here in the final seconds of the second quarter. Moved on though to Jasaitis, who steps to the side. Pillar pitch, they'll reset and play again in the half court with Wilson. Quick catch and shoot for 3, wouldn't go. Ware with the rebound, and the shot clock turned off at the end of the quarter. Dijon will hope to hold it for the final shot of the first half here, trailing by 7. Emigano almost had it knocked away. Final seconds now. Emigano into the paint, flips one, and no way past Kupchas. Lietkabelis with a dominant defensive display in the first half, limiting Dijon to 22 points. They've only scored 29 of their own, but they picked up pace in that second quarter. And shooting 47% inside, 3 of 9 from downtown. Not the best numbers, but far better than Dijon, who've really struggled, especially from the outside. And 3 more rebounds for Lietkabelis as well, 4 more assists. And ahead by 7, despite those 2 extra turnovers. It's been a defense first half. Just 29-22. Tyrolis leading the way with 5 points off the bench, 7 for Ware for Dijon. And especially for Dijon, creative players who've got great assist stats so far this season, haven't been able to get going at all. You see the leading scorers there, Tyrolis and Kulvietis with 5, Lietkabelis, Jasaitis with 4. David Holston for Dijon has 3 assists in the half to lead all players in that department, but he's 0 of 4 from the field and hasn't scored a point yet. 2 assists each for Simas Jasaitis and Mike Morrison, the centre for Lietkabelis, leading them. But it has been a struggle for both offences so far. Seven points for Lietkabelis is the largest lead of the game. For the vast majority of the opening 15 minutes, it was a case of a 1, 2 or 3 point advantage. Plenty of lead changes back and forth. Lietkabelis ahead 13-10 at the end of the first quarter. And we're able to at least find their range from the outside in the second quarter. Neither team hit a 3-pointer over the first 10 minutes. Lietkabelis hitting 3 in the second quarter. Dijon hitting 1 of their own, but more reliant on Ware's scoring inside. He's got 7 of their 22 points. They're only 1 of 8 from downtown Dijon. This perhaps the most impressive basket so far from Ware, but 6 of his 7 points coming in the opening few minutes. Even the points dried up for him. And Lietkabelis went on to take the second quarter 16-12. So Lietkabelis lead by 7 at the break, 29-22 here in Panevėžys. Do join us for the second half in just a few minutes' time.
Lietkabelis.
Welcome back to Panevėžys for this game day 5 contest in Group C of the Basketball Champions League regular season. You might be forgiven for thinking it could be the end of the first quarter. It's not. It's the half-time interval with Lietkabelis leading just 29-22. And certainly not what we expected in terms of the offensive outputs of both teams, or the ability of either defense to restrict the opposition offense. Lietkabelis have averaged 85 points against them on defense so far this season. Dijon 78.2 points allowed on defense. And here we are with a 29-22 scoreline. Lietkabelis average 82 points on offense. So even ahead by 7 as the leading team here, nowhere near that at the half-time break. Dijon averaging 75.8 points over the course of the first 4 games, have been held to just 22 over the first 20 minutes. 10 of those coming in the first quarter, just 12 in the second. Lietkabelis did improve offensively when they started to hit a few three-pointers in the second quarter. They scored 13 points in the first quarter, 16 in the second. And their 7-point advantage is the largest lead of the game for either team. We had 9 lead changes early on. Despite the lack of points, it tended to alternate between leads for both teams by just a point or two. And then Lietkabelis starting to hit three-pointers after not hitting one in the first quarter. Started to edge open a slight gap. And Dijon have to rally back. They're just 1 of 8 from downtown. And that so far really has been the difference. Dijon, remember, came into this game as the 6th most accurate team out of the 32 teams in the Basketball Champions League. They've shot just 31% from the field so far, 9 of 29 altogether. The 4th most accurate team from 2-point range, but they're just 38% against Lietkabelis here tonight. And that is one area they will drastically want to improve. Lietkabelis led by the 5 points each of Tarolis and Kulvietis. Dijon led by the 7 points of Gavin Ware. Here we go, start of the second half, and Lietkabelis start with the ball, so a chance to stretch this lead beyond 7. Morrison on to Valinskas. Trying to get free was Kulvietis in this near corner, back to Wilson. Space here for Valinskas, quickly closed down though, shot clock winding down, and a heel on the sideline to turn the ball over as Valinskas steps out of bounds. It was a consistent theme in the first half, seeing that shot clock to the bottom right of your picture turning red. Both offenses winding the shot clock down into the final seconds. Very rare that we had early shots. There's been a distinct lack of creativity to breach the defensive barricades of both teams so far. Ware on the turnaround missed it. Balancing to stay inbounds, but conceding possession there. Dijon, and now Wilson. Valinskas can't get the roll, and still no score in the second half. Wilson battling away, trying to come up with the ball. Holston down on the deck. It's still going to be Dijon possession though. Bit of space here and rejected brilliantly by Yasaitis. But a foul. Or is it just an out-of-bounds call? Let's see. Swatted away by Yasaitis. He'd certainly caught the hand of the shooter across the wrist, but it's an inbound, the decision. Holston to get it in, picked off brilliantly by Valinskas. And they escape at centre court. Wilson to the far side, three-pointer, bang! Simas Jasaitis from the corner. Deadly transition basketball from Lietkabelis. The lead stretched to double figures for the first time. Pearson looking to respond, will go to the line for two. Lietkabelis, who didn't hit a three-pointer in the first quarter, came in as the fourth most accurate three-point shooting team in the competition. They've hit 4 of 10 now, up to that 40% mark, and opening up a 10-point gap. Gavin Ware at the stripe, scored 6 points from the field very early on when he had his first 3 field goal attempts. His only points since have come from the line. He's 3 of 4 there now, 9 points total in the game, 7 rebounds and a steal as well. Kupchas sending off to Valinskas. Here's Jasaitis. Had it knocked away by Holston. Dijon trying to eat into this deficit. Holston still hasn't scored. Pearson, who struggled as well, gives it in back. Holston bursting into the paint. Ware had it knocked away by Jasaitis. Jasaitis trying to go all the way through and does. 5 quick-fire points from the 36-year-old here in the third quarter. The gap back to 10 again. Jeremy Lalou, crossover three-pointer, misses. Dijon 1 of 9 from downtown now. Wilson across to Jasaitis, who's got the hot hand and now catches fire. Jasaitis with 8 points in the third quarter forces Dijon into a timeout. He's got 12 in the game. And Lietkabelis have opened up a 13-point gap. We saw the shooting numbers there, and three-point shooting continues to be a big difference maker. Lietkabelis now 5 of 11 from downtown for 45%. Some big defensive plays as well. And of course this one off the steal from Jasaitis, sandwiched in between 2 three-pointers. He's got 8 points in the third. The pass from Wilson. Right on the money. Dijon just 1 of 9 from downtown. Those 4 extra threes for Lietkabelis, effectively the difference as they lead by 13. Lalou hands it off, moved on to Julien. Ware puts it up from the stripe and puts it in, his first field goal since the first few minutes. He's up to double figures now, Gavin Ware. Jamal Wilson. Run by Calvietis. Kupchas passes away from the double team. It's tight for Jasaitis as well, and the ball is picked off. It should lead to an easy 2 for Emegano. Dijon back-to-back scores off the back of the timeout. And they're back within single figures. Emegano with the fancy finish. After the big defensive play, and a vital point you feel in this game for Dijon to spark themselves into life, and they have done that off the timeout called by Lauren Lenyan. Wilson turns it over, Lalou. Here goes Pearson, scoring and getting the contact. And a chance at a 7-0 run for Dijon off the back of the timeout. And Ryan Pearson, who before that shot was just 1 of 6 from the field, and now Lietkabelis will go to the bench. Coach Nenad Chanak not happy. You see the fast break points there, 10-6 in Lietkabelis' favourites. Become very much about the transition. Here in the third quarter, turnovers and steals. Semegano that time with a free route to the rim for the flying finish. And Dijon are flying at the moment. A chance to make it 7 points without reply, as Ryan Pearson gets a chance to complete a three-point play. Look at Simas Yosaitis' stat line, 12 points so far. 2 of 2 from downtown, 5 of 5 from the line, leading the way of all scorers in the game, with Gavin Ware of Dijon 1 behind. Lietkabelis, though, I do believe only had 5 turnovers at half-time. They've had 4 here in the third quarter already. And Dijon have been able to close a 13-point gap down to 6 points in a matter of seconds. Foul on Julien. It's only the point guard's second by my calculation. In fact, it's on Lalou. It's his second. Wilson. Yosaitis moving it on to Kulvietis. Back to Jamar Wilson again. Kupchas on the move into the centre. High entry pass towards him now, and he's forced away underneath the basket via the contact. So Kupchas, who's a good foul shooter, will go back to the line. Only 1 of 2 so far tonight, but 7 of 8 last week. Lalou picks up foul number 3, so he goes to the bench. Kupchas misses that one. Morrison for Lietkabelis, the only other player in the game on 3 fouls so far. Lead back to 7 off that second free throw from Mindaugas Kupchas. Emigano. Julien. Pearson looking aggressive as he backs in with the mismatch against Wilson, who's called for the contact. 3 fouls each now. Emigano to Julien. Pearson. Turning and looking to put the moves on the defense. Oh my word, what a putback. Some French firepower from Dijon, unloaded by Gavin Ware. They're back within 5 now. The comeback continues. And then the steal again. Here comes Emigano all the way for the layup. It's come completely off the rails for Lietkabelis. It's a 3-point game. They led by 13 just a couple of minutes ago. Kupchas, bounce pass to the cut down the baseline from Kulvietis, and he will go to the line. Good awareness from the big man, Mindaugas Kupchas, as the defense collapsed upon him. Fourth foul on Dijon coming only just over the midway point of the third quarter. Neither team has hit the foul limit in either of the previous two quarters. That's a significant change here in the third. As Kulvietis sinks the first foul shot, any foul from the Dijon defense for the next 4 minutes and 55 seconds will send Lietkabelis to the foul line now. Lietkabelis back up by 5 as Kulvietis goes to the bench and Tarolis comes in. Did well off the bench early in the game, but he's only played 7 minutes and scored 5 points, grabbed 3 rebounds as well. Crossover three-pointer off the mark, and Dijon continue to struggle from range, where they're now 1 of 11. Mavra across to the far side. It's a long 2 for Lietkabelis, wouldn't go. The rebound grabbed by Lou. Arnold. Edge of the paint, back out, wide open 3, and they still can't hit one, but it's tipped back in. After they fall to 1 of 12 from downtown, they get the second chance opportunity off the tip. 3-point ball game, 4 minutes and change remaining in the third. Kupchas. Yasitis feeding one inside. Loom down on the deck, the pass out from Tarolis, the 3 wouldn't go. And nor with the tip for Lietkabelis, but the last touch was off a Dijon player. The first half that was fairly low on moments of real quality, but the second half has been on a different level. Both teams turning it up a notch. Pillar pitch, slammed away. Still 5 left on the shot clock for Mavra. Mavra floats one up. Difficult shot from beyond the foul line, floating over the top of the defense. Lietkabelis just about holding off the Dijon comeback. Able to maintain a little bit of breathing room. Julien. Julien able to find his man Loom on this near side. And that one nowhere near from Loom, recovered by the diligent Mavra. Lietkabelis can look to create a bit more breathing room. Picked off instead though by Arnold. It's a 3-on-2. Here goes Arnold for the simple layup. 3 points the gap again. First score for Robert Arnold, who came into the game averaging 5.5 points. You can see Dijon with 5 more points off turnovers, 11-6. And I think pretty much all of those points have been here in the third quarter. Lietkabelis, I think, only had 5 turnovers in the first half. That would mean they've got 6 already here in the third quarter. The Dijon defense have turned it up a notch, only after falling behind by 13 off the hot hand shooting of Simas Yasitis. Finally, kicked them into gear, Dijon, off the back of a timeout. And they've clawed it back to within 3 points on a couple of occasions, but Lietkabelis keeping them at bay with Mindaugas Kupchas at the line here. Able to open up a 5-point gap again. Julien just 2 assists so far, coming in averaging 6.8. Here he is now. Across to the far side, the three-point shot won't go. They'll grab the rebound though and get a fresh 14 on the shot clock. It's still not happening from downtown for Dijon. Arnold putting one in from long range, but that one won't count. Dijon are at the foul limit. Lietkabelis are just about there as well as Pilipic picks up his second. The next foul from the Lietkabelis defense will send Dijon to the stripe. Arnold gets it in. Chasson hands it off to Emigano. Here is Julian. Arnold on the move. Shot clock down to 5. Arnold the crossover three-pointer. No. And Dijon just 1 of 13 from downtown. Kupchas. Sinovic. He'll drive in the bounce pass. Kupchas trying to force it up. And Loom rejected it, but it was a foul before that. So Kupchas will go back to the stripe where he's 4 of 6 so far. Chasson picks up his third personal. All 5 of Kupchas's points have come from the stripe. He's 0 of 2 from the field. He's 5 of 8 from the line now. It's a 6-point gap. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Julian directing traffic. Arnold alongside him. Chasson trying to create some room for his point guard. Back out, Arnold. Put it on the floor and look to attack inside and just ran into a Lietkabelis defensive wall. Here they come in transition. And they'll go to the foul line again. It looks as though Lietkabelis have weathered the Dijon storm. And they're threatening to open up a gap again now. Fran Pilipic fouled on his path through the paint. Will go to the foul line for 2. Lietkabelis 10 of 14 from the stripe as a team. Add one more to that. He misses the second there. 7 points the gap. Holston still hasn't scored a point. Arnold. Chasson trying to create some room. He's posted up in the paint. Instead it's Loom attacking and using the backboard as a way round the defender. Really good finish from Loom. Dijon within 5, final minute of the third. Kulvietis handing off to Pilipic. In the final seconds of the shot clock, it's floated home by Kulvietis. Lietkabelis by 7 again. 13-second differential between shot and game clock at the end of the third. Here's Loom onto Arnold. Quick catch and shoot from the corner. Got it. Dijon hit just their second 3 off their 14th attempt. Their first in what seems like an eternity. And they're back within 4. Shot clock turned off at the end of the third with Maverick going through the gears, bursting to the basket and scoring. Still a few seconds for Arnold to throw this one up from inside his own half. And he can't get the drop, having made that corner 3 just a few moments earlier. Dijon, despite stopping the rock from downtown, will go to the fourth quarter down by 6. Lietkabelis lead 50-44. He's shooting the better percentages inside and out. Only 69% from the foul line though, although they've got there far more frequently than Dijon. It's the 3-pointers that have helped to blow this game open. Dijon then clawing their way back with a number of big defensive plays off the back of a timeout, having fallen behind by 13 Simas Yasaitis catching fire early in the third quarter. Scored 8 points in a matter of moments, 2 threes and a 2. And here is the two-pointer off the steal. When Lietkabelis were riding a real wave of momentum, up by 13 points. It looked like they would open up too big a gap at that point, with Dijon really struggling, but they called the timeout and came up with a number of big defensive plays of their own. Ware got his first field goal since the first few minutes. Emegano with a dunk off the steal. And they got back to within 3 points in just a few minutes before Lietkabelis have opened up a 6-point gap before the start of the fourth quarter. A huge putback from Gavin Ware that time. He leads the way for the away team with 13. 5 of 8 from the field, 8 rebounds as well, and a couple of steals. Yasaitis' 12 points lead the way for Lietkabelis. Here we go at the start of the fourth quarter. Lietkabelis 50, Dijon 44. Here's Holston for 3. Finally gets a few points on the board. Holston, who missed his first 4 shots, is up and running and halves the deficit. Tarolis. Pilipic. Driving in, floating one high and getting the contact. So Fran Pilipic goes to the strike. What a huge shot though from David Holston down the other end. He'd missed all 4 of his attempts before nailing that 3-pointer. And Dijon, who'd only hit 1 of their first 13 from the line, hitting 2 in quick succession either side of the last break. Despite that torrid long-range shooting, Coach Lauren Lenyam's team only down by 4. Make it 5 as Pilipic hits both. That will give Holston an extra spring in his step now. Arnold. Chassong moving into the center. Arnold, the crossover, looking to attack. Trying to find Chassong. It's tipped away out of bounds. Still Dijon ball. Only 2 points for Alexander Chassong so far. He came in averaging a team second best 12.5. A number of Dijon's key players have struggled. Julien, Holston. Holston for 3 again, falls short. And into Lietkabelis' hands, quarterback pass to Maverick. And the layup will fall. Lietkabelis opening up a gap. Once more, despite that early promise provided by David Holston for Dijon. Here in the fourth. Chassong running into traffic. Still no joy for him on the inside. Maverick. 7 points the gap. Fires it inside and a foul on Arnold, who was trying to reach around the frame of Kulvietis to pick it off. Just a reminder of the situation for these two teams, both 1 and 3 over the first 4 games. Both of them with a couple of close, hard-fought defeats. Both still with hopes of making the top 4 for the playoffs. Whoever wins this one will put themselves in a much better position from which to do that. Pilipic. Shot clock down to the final seconds. Turning and shooting is Kulvietis. Missing though Holston. Trying to tip the rebound. Only 5'8". David Holston. Kulvietis trapped. And Lalou comes up with the ball, but there's a whistle on the play. It's a foul then on Maverick. First foul of the fourth on Lietkabelis. And this one is still too close for comfort for Nenad Chanak and Lauren Lenyam. So 54-47 the score with 8 minutes to play. Very briefly we had a 13-point Lietkabelis lead, but for the vast majority it's been single figures. And we've got a bit of a delay before we get the game. We started again here. Let's have a look at this situation. It was knocked away from Lietkabelis, and there was the foul from Mavra as Lalou tried to release Holston. He doesn't think so. It's a fairly good job though, because Holston was clean through for the score. Dijon will get us back underway with Robert Arnold to inbound. Ryan Pearson, 7 points so far, but he's just 2 of 8 from the field. There's a number of Dijon stat lines that look like that. Holston just 1 of 6. Lalou knocked away, Ware able to recover it against Morrison. Risky cross-court pass though, reeled in by Arnold. Still time to get the shot away as he hangs it high off the glass, but it's brought down effectively by Morrison, and then a foul. They really have struggled on offense, Dijon, here tonight, to move the Lietkabelis defense around, to create many good looks. And despite shooting the ball ever so well inside over the first 4 games, Lietkabelis have been more than an equal match to them in that department this evening. Plenty of disappointment at the moment on the Dijon bench. Mike Morrison. Lietkabelis clinging on to it for a while. Mavra going through the gears and slicing through the defense. Found a free, pout through the paint to score. 9 points the gap with 7 minutes and change remaining. Holston. And there's a foul on the outside, an offensive foul against Ryan Pearson as Dijon turn it over for the 6th time. Well, they've had 6 fewer turnovers than Lietkabelis. Pearson doesn't feel that one should have been an offensive foul and a turnover, but it is. And Lietkabelis have another chance to open up a double-digit lead with 7 minutes remaining. Well, this one is far from done and dusted. 7 minutes is an eternity in basketball, but a 9-point Lietkabelis lead, considering the type of game it's been, is a significant one. And certainly no less than they deserve after a much improved showing in the second half. Mavra finding Morrison, back out for the 3. Sidanovic got it. Lietkabelis tied the largest lead at 12. Holston. It's a long, long way back from here. They could do with this one going. It's way off from Pearson to the right of the basket, recovered by Ware. And Nagano will look to attack. Lietkabelis wanted to travel. And indeed they get it. Dijon just can't seem to put anything together right now. Mavra. Morrison, there's space again for the outside shooters. This time stepping in, looking to return it back to Morrison was Sinovic, and a foul on the far side. Lietkabelis look comfortable. 6 minutes to play, the lead is 12 points. Foul on Lalou. Encouragement from the Lietkabelis bench. Sinovic came in for his first appearance and hit a big three. Saulis Calavietis up to double figures now. Perfect from the stripe. With 3 in double digits for Lietkabelis, along with Mavra and Yasitis. It's the largest lead. Ware lost their hand on the ball. And Dijon looked demoralised. Yasitis recovers. Prodded away though. Pearson all the way through for the big stuff. As Dijon look to get going again. And another one. Emegano, can he go through to score? No, slammed against the backboard. The monster rejection, Wilson for 3, bang! Top defense at one end, and a superb shot at the other. Lietkabelis by 14. Holston misses, Yasitis the rebound. Wilson. Turned over again, can he make the most of this one? Pearson goes behind the back, draws the contact with the left-hand finish off the window. And Dijon are not done yet. 4.5 minutes still to play. And they've come up with 3 steals in quick succession, been able to convert off 2 of them, a chance to make it an 11-point game. Gavin Ware goes to the bench, having scored 13 points to lead his team, but Ryan Pearson's now up to 11. And a chance to add 1 more from the line. I think he's been hit with a technical here, has he? The 12-point gap. Ryan Pearson just scored the layup and then had the foul with a chance to add 1 more, and indeed he's been hit with a technical foul, and I'm not quite sure why. Whether it was something he said to the official, but I'm not sure why that would have been the case in such a positive moment. It's a real blow for Dijon. Lietkabelis hit the technical, and now we will have the and 1 opportunity for Pearson. Can he respond to that disappointment? He's 3 of 3 from the line so far. Make it 4 of 4. It's a 12-point gap then, with just over 4.5 to play, and high court pressure from Dijon. Still Lietkabelis ball. They've shown it a couple of moments in this second half, though. They have the ability to come up with successive steals when they apply pressure to the Lietkabelis ball handlers. Mavra to the far side as they look to come up with a steal again. It's Holston trying to pick it off from Wilson, and he forces Wilson into a travel. Wilson not happy with that. That's what Dijon have to do now to try and apply that pressure defensively and to force those turnovers. Lietkabelis have turned the ball over fairly frequently when the pressure's been applied. It's the 17th turnover of the game. Lalou with the deep three. Got it. Single figure margin again. Jeremy Lalou from a couple of feet back. What a time to get his first score. And we've got a timeout from Lietkabelis now. 9 points the gap with 4 minutes still to play. And that turnover count is a big difference. 16 it is for Lietkabelis, 9 for Dijon. Lietkabelis still lead by 9 though. There was the big rejection from Mike Morrison over the top of Emigano, and it led to the three-point shot down the other end for Jamal Wilson. It looked like that might have put it in the bag for Lietkabelis, but Dijon have rallied again. Lalou's long ranger closing the gap to single figures once more. They pass out to the press this time. Valinskas clings onto it. They're taking precious seconds away from Dijon as they look to create a good shot now. Fired into Jasaitis, knocked away. Valinskas dancing through the defense before a Lithuanian liftoff to rock the rim. And the miss on the layup down the other end for Dijon. Valinskas again. Maverick. 3.5 to play across to the far side. It's Jasaitis to finish it. No, rebound in from Jamal Wilson. The little guy for Lietkabelis on the board. A big rebound. They lead by 13. And surely now it's too much of a mountain to climb, especially after Dijon turned it over. Another offensive foul. And they showed 1 or 2 signs of a resurrection, but as Pearson picks up his fourth, his second offensive foul, surely their chances have slipped away. Valinskas bursting through the gap and taking off to score. A highlight reel play that surely finishes this one off. Wilson, who had that big offensive rebound as well, creates a bit of room, hits the shot. And Lietkabelis, who only scored 29 points in the first half, have hit 70. Another turnover, this time from Julian. It's been a horror show from him. And then a foul from Holston. And Dijon are losing any kind of composure, showing their frustration as Holston picks up his third. And they lost any kind of a chance. You have to feel a few Lietkabelis baskets ago. Then after the turnover from Julian. Emigano's 4 of 10 from the field. Pearson's 4 of 11. Ware 5 of 8, but nobody else has shot the ball well for Dijon. 17 points the gap now. And this one is just about in the book as Julian is able to score from the field for just the second time. Came in averaging 9.5 points. He's up to 5. 15 points the gap, 2 minutes and change remaining. Here goes Jamal Wilson. Maverick. taking on Julian, finding his man in the corner for the three. Simas Jasaitis with a Lithuanian lightning bolt. 3 of 4 from downtown and up to 16 points. The foul on Lietkabelis, only their third of the fourth quarter. It's an 18-point gap. And what a way to turn up the heat on offense from Lietkabelis in the second half. 29 points at half-time. They had 21 in the third quarter, 25 so far here in the fourth. Holston back to Lalou. Arnold trying to throw it overhead. It's not time for the tricks and flicks for Dijon. Down in a big hole. A minute and a half to play. Jamal Wilson. Jasaitis. Valitsky is high off the window, too much on it. Holston moving it on. Lalou then in the corner for three. Got it. His second three of the fourth quarter, Jeremy Lalou. He only took one attempt over the first three quarters. Final minute. Valitskas. Jasaitis. Moving it on into the centre. Oh, lovely pass behind the back to Wilson, who flipped it up overhead. A bit of showtime from Lietkabelis. They're winning it in style now. Julian burst to the basket to score. The quarterback pass down the other end of the floor quickly. Lietkabelis look like they could play all evening now. Maverick. Fouled by Julian. We've seen some fantastic plays down the stretch from Lietkabelis. How about this assist from Kulvietis, and the finish from Wilson wasn't bad either. Mavra misses from the line, but a 15-point Lietkabelis lead. The damage has already been done to Dijon. It's the Lithuanians who are going to move to 2 and 3. Dijon will fall to 1 and 4, which makes it a very difficult position for them. They're going to be 2 wins behind the playoff places come the end of the evening. Arnold can't get it off the hop. And the shot clock turned off it. Maverick. Caught in possession inside his own half. Holston, the corner three. No. The quick release might lead to a chance to score. Final seconds all the way through. Valitskas at the buzzer with a Pane-Vergis pile driver. Lietkabelis win it in style. I'm not sure it will count for Valitskas, but they don't care, as they give their fans something to cheer down the stretch with another highlight reel finish. A 49-point second half from Lietkabelis, having scored just 29 in the first half, as they win it in the end comprehensively by 16 points, 78-62. And Dijon's offense only really allowed to get going in the third quarter when they scored 22. They were held to just 22 points over the whole of the first half. Valitskas a little late at the buzzer for that one, but still a finish to get the fans on their feet in Pane-Vergis. You're seeing the time expired there with his hand still on the ball, so it doesn't add to Lietkabelis' tally, but it certainly adds to the enjoyment of the second half for the Lithuanian fans. And their team will move to 2 and 3 in Group C of the Basketball Champions League regular season. A huge improvement on offense in the second half. After a first half that was low in quality in that regard. Very much a feeling it was the majority of the time more a case of poor offense rather than strong defense. But in the second half, we saw some wonderful ball movement, shooting, and highlight reel finishing from Lietkabelis. And in the end, some good percentages from the field. They battered Dijon on the boards as well by 11. And 10 more assists. 22 assists for Lietkabelis, despite a 29-point first half. And they're able to win it by 16 points, despite 17 turnovers. Certainly plenty of areas that they will want to improve, but they did many things right over the third and fourth quarters. Jasaitis leading the way with 16 points. As we see the leaders in the various categories, there were 4 Lietkabelis players in double figures. Jamal Wilson had 12, Kulvietis and Mavra had 11 each. Lietkabelis led the way in assists with 4 and had 6 points as well. Jasaitis' 3-point shooting in the third quarter opened the game up. He had 8 points in a couple of minutes, as Lietkabelis went up by 12. Dijon were able to turn the tide though off the back of a timeout and close the gap to 3 on a couple of occasions, and went into the fourth quarter down by just 6. Quickly halved that gap off a 3-pointer right at the start of the fourth. Gavin Ware leading them in scoring with 13 points, followed closely by Ryan Pearson's 12. Eme Gano finishing that one had 8 as their third leading scorer. And a series of steals put the pressure on Lietkabelis in Panay-Vergis, but they weathered the storm. A huge putback from Gavin Ware that time as part of his 13 points. He was 5 of 8 from the field, 9 rebounds, 1 off a double-double. And a couple of steals on another impressive night for him, but as a team they faltered. They shot just 5 of 22 from downtown for less than 23% Dijon. Lietkabelis found their range after disappointing their fans from the outside in the first half. They finished with 7 3-pointers off 15 attempts for 47%, which helped to blow the game open. And then came a series of highlight reel bursts to the basket down the stretch as well, as they opened up a big lead to go on and take this one by 16, 78-62. Lietkabelis moved to 2-3 and remain 1 win off the playoff places in Group C. Dijon fall to 1-4 and are now 2 wins adrift. It's been a pleasure having your company in Panay-Vergis for this one on Game Day 5. Do join us next time for some more action in the Basketball Champions League.